Radhika Tadale. Krishna, Krishna Bhakta, Tada Bhakta, Namo Namah. So did everyone hear the story of the Rasgulas?
Partly.
Okay. Anyway, God. So we were saying that Babaji Maharaj would not accept donations from anyone. No? But Bihari put some clay pot there and somehow it filled up with money. So one day Babaji Maharaj asked how much money we have. Then Bihari counted 200 rupees. So 200 rupees that time, lot of money. No, I guess this was probably like 1890s, I'm guessing like that. End of the 19th century. So in 1940, Param Gurudev, one bird dropped 3/4 of a rupee. And with 3/4 of a rupee, Param Gurudev could feed everyone, 30, 40 devotees, Mahaprasad for a courtesy. So you could imagine 40, 50 years before that, then 200 rupees, maybe that's worth $10,000 now, who knows? It's a lot of money. So when Babaji Maharaj thought we should do some Vaishnav Seva, then he thought, who is a Vaishnav? No, especially Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Sampradaya was in little dark period. Not dark, but covered. Just like the sun is never covered by the clouds, but it may appear like that. Sun is always shining millions of miles away, but it may appear covered. So the Sahajas, the Sakhi Bekis, the Kas Goswamis, the Owls, Baals, Nedas, Kartas, all these false groups had captured the Sampradaya. So Babaji Maharaj, why should I serve these rascals? So better I serve the cow. So Babaji Maharaj bought 200 rupees of rasgulas. Even when I first came to India, 1 rupee you could get a nice rasgula. Now it's 15 or 20 rupees. So can you imagine 100 years ago how many rasgulas he bought? And he fed them to the cows. So he also showed, if you help anyone in the Dham, this gives so much mercy, so much security. Even you feed monkeys, you feed, what else is there? Birds, insects, mice, squirrels. It's also one type of security. What to speak of cows, what to speak of human beings. So Babaji Maharaj showed this affection for the residents of the Dham, including even animals, insects. So most importantly is his connection with Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So the river Saraswati always flows. We cannot see it now because of Kali Yuga, but it's still there. In the same way, sometimes the Sampradaya, it's still there, but it appears lost, covered. But don't worry, it's still flowing. Why? Always some pure Vaishnavas doing solitary bhajan, maintaining the Sampradaya through their bhajan in that way, but unknown to the common persons. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he came to Vrindavan to get the association of Sri Jagannatha Das Babaji Maharaj. So at the time, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he was district magistrate, and even now, district magistrate have so much power, and what to speak of 100 years ago. So, but he was having some health problems. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur prayed to Radharani, I don't mind that I am sick. I'm willing to face what is due to my past sins. No, Vaishnav never prayed to become free from sin, to become free from their sinful reactions. They're ready. I'm ready to accept whatever I deserve. They are not doing business with Krishna. Oh, Krishna, I did so much bhajan. You should free me from my sins. No. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, Radharani, please, I want to visit the Dham. After I visit Vrindavan, then you make me sick. No problem. So his health improved. He came to Vrindavan, and there were many criminal groups. Bhaktivinoda Thakur wiped them out. He gave some time to that. And then he associated with Jagannatha Das Babaji Maharaj there in Suryakund. And so much he heard Harikatha there. Therefore, this is the Bhagavat Parampara. Many people not understand, because the Bhagavat Parampara is not a succession of bodies. Is a succession of moods, a conception. So many people who are very gross in their thinking, just a succession of mantras. But Guru Parampara is not a succession of mantras, it's a succession of mood. Therefore, the Diksha Parampara is there, Bhagavat, but the Bhagavat Parampara is given more importance. Because that is the moods, the pure moods of the Sampradaya transferred through this Bhagavat Parampara. Because only liberated Paramahamsas can be situated in that Bhagavat Parampara. Therefore, many people not understand our Parampara. But the question comes, who is Parikshit Maharaj's Guru? He not took mantra from Sukadev Goswami, but he took mood from Sukadev Goswami. So this is considered more important. So anyhow, people understand or not understand, this is the Bhagavat Parampara, flowing from the heart of Jagannatha Das Babaji Maharaj to the heart of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. I've heard it said that Sri Jagannatha Das Babaji Maharaj transferred all his realization, his knowledge of the scriptures, everything, he transferred to the heart of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Oh. Even Kusumpad is coming. A great rarity. So, that time, and Babaji Maharaj had some followers there. So they approached Babaji Maharaj. Said, Babaji Maharaj, we not understand Bhaktivinoda. They approached Bhaktivinoda Thakur with some doubt. Oh, Babaji Maharaj, we have left Bhaktivinoda Thakur. We have left everything to do bhajan. But Babaji Maharaj is just engaging us in planting eggplants, planting flowers, doing gardening. But we've come here for Astakali Lila Smaran, remembering the eternal eightfold pastimes of Radha Krishna. Why Babaji Maharaj is engaging us in these materialistic activities? Maybe before they were farmers before. So this is where they add their complaints to Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Gurudev would give this example. Then Bhaktivinoda Thakur would say, listen, you are not qualified for that Astakali Lila Smaran. You are not qualified for that. Why? You have no Sakriti, no foundation. No, but Vaishnav Seva quickly gives you Sakriti. It gives you realization. Vaishnavanam Yatharuchi. This Vaishnav Seva, Vasudev Kataruchi. Vaishnav Seva gives taste in Harikatha. No? So Gurudev said, don't neglect Vaishnav Seva. So by serving Vaishnava's heart becomes pure. When heart is pure, we become attached to Krishna's name, form, qualities, and pastimes. So don't neglect Vaishnav Seva. Mahaprabhu said to the residents of Kuliagram, Vaishnav Sevada Nam Sankirtan Dui Sikra Pabe Si Krishna Decha. Who serves Vaishnavas and they quickly can get Krishna. So in this way, Bhaktivinoda Thakur cleared their doubts, and again they continued in their Vaishnav Seva. But anyway, this is very important. Jagannatha Das Babaji Maharaj giving all this to Bhaktivinoda Thakur, very important thing. Otherwise, this would all be lost. Jagannatha Das Babaji Maharaj also, he had one disciple called Madhusudan Das Babaji Maharaj, or Bhagavat Das Babaji Maharaj, these two disciples. So I think Bhagavat Das Babaji Maharaj gave renounced order to Gokashwar Das Babaji Maharaj. So strong connection is there between Jagannatha Das Babaji Maharaj and Gokashwar Das Babaji Maharaj also. No? And of course, both are connected to Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Gokashwar Das Babaji Maharaj fully accepted Bhaktivinoda Thakur as his Shiksha Guru. In an unhindered manner. So, Maharaj then, He was very old, 140 years old. Goodness me. He was so old, he could not walk. He's bent like a new moon. And so much skin would hang from his forehead that he could not see. So with some cloth. In this way, very extraordinary form, he presented to this world. No? And he began residing in Navadvip, Mayapur. No? Actually, he resided there in Koladvip. Mostly he resided. His bhajan kutir is still there today. So many years he resided in Navadvip. Many, many years. And many pastimes he did also here. So we do pranams to Jagannatha Das Babaji Maharaja. No? And of course, most famously, he gives so much support to Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Okay, Oksana, listening to translation? Can she hear anything? Okay. So the Ganga always changing direction here. No? Even I remember 1996, there was Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur made a Gaudiya Mat, and each was one temple Gaudiya Mat there. But in 96, when I came first time for Parikram, the Ganga was chewing through the land and already half the mat was gone. And even during the speech, big pieces of the mat were flowing into the Ganga. Then everyone knew in 2-3 days, this whole temple will be gone. So even our lifetime, we have seen that. So the Ganga always changing here and there. So the real birthplace of Lord Chaitanya had become lost. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he did research because the British had kept very careful maps, Akbar's time also. Okay, so Bhaktivinoda Thakur studied all these maps, especially Bhakti Ratnaka and other books like that. Then he could understand, no, the birthplace of Lord Chaitanya is not in Koladvip, because the modern city of Navadvip, this is only 100 years old. And Lord Chaitanya born 500 years ago. So he was living in Surabhi Kunj, Swananda Sukhata Kunj, his bhajan kutir was that. Okay, Maria, here. Okay. Russians very eager to hear Katha. So, one night he saw across the Jalangi, he saw some effulgent mansion, something. Then the next night he saw the same thing. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur traveled across the Jalangi to Antadvip, and there he came to Mayapur. He asked the older residents, and they said, what is the name of this place? They said, Mayapur, Mayapur. Then, of course, to change, before was Mayapur, but because Muslims had invaded and time, the influence of time is there, and now it was called Mayapur. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur had already seen in his bhajan, the older residents and the maps also conferred that actually Mayapur was on Antadvip, not on Koladvip. Especially in Bhakti Ratnaka, it describes when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to crush the Chandkazi, to defeat the Chandkazi, there was huge Nam Sankirtan from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's birthplace of Mayapur to Chandkazi's Samadhi. But there is no description in Bhakti Ratnaka of the whole Sankirtan Pasi crossing the Ganga to the other side. Therefore, this is big proof. It means Mayapur on the same side as Chandkazi Samadhi. No, so Bhaktivinoda Thakur, there was one like hillock. Then it was covered in tulsi. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur asked the Muslim farmers, even now in Mayapur today, so many Muslims here also. Every morning we can hear them, Allah Akbar. So he asked, what is this? I said, we don't know. This. We cut many times, we cut all these tulsis to plant eggplants and tomatoes, but only tulsi grows, so we just left. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur could understand. This is the birthplace of Lord Chaitanya. But unless some big Vaishnav gives stamp, who will accept? So Bhaktivinoda Thakur called to Jagannatha Das Babaji Maharaj, who came in big procession with many prominent Vaishnavas, prominent personalities. No? And when Babaji Maharaj came to that place, he jumped out of his basket. His body came to his full 6-foot form. He began jumping. I've heard descriptions of Babaji Maharaj jumping 10 feet in the air. And with great ecstasy, he's saying, this is the birthplace of my Nimai. This is the birthplace of my Satchidananda. So actually, Jagannatha Das Babaji Maharaj gave so much support to Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Without that support, then very difficult for Bhaktivinoda Thakur to accomplish what he accomplished. So this is the greatness of the Guru Parampara. Anyway, so many stories. But today, of course, today's class has been cut so much. So 1 hour already finished. But today is also the appearance there of Rasikananda Prabhu. So we were talking about the dark periods in the Sampradaya. So after the disappearance of the 6 Goswamis, Rup, Sanatan, the two Bhattas, Raghunath Bhatta and Raghunath Bhatta and Gopala Bhatta, Sri Jeev Goswami and Sri Raghunath Das Goswami, these 6 Goswamis, they're the personal associates of Lord Chaitanya, the eternal associates, because they appeared the same time as Lord Chaitanya. They saw him face to face. But after them, some dark period came. So the Prabhutraya, the 3 Prabhus, Narottam, Srinivas, and Shamananda, they pushed forward the Goswamis movement. Especially they took all the writings of the Goswamis and took them to Bengal and began to preach from there. They brought together all the different branches of Lord Chaitanya's family. So this Narottam, Srinivas, Shamananda. Narottam is considered an incarnation of the potency of Nityananda. Srinivasacharya is considered the embodiment of the mercy of Advaitacharya, the Shakti of Advaitacharya. And Shamananda Prabhu is considered the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, the potency of Lord Chaitanya. So, Shamananda, of course, he's in Madhurya Ras, but his Gurudev was Hridaya Chaitanya, who is in Sakiras. So, in this way, this parampara is continuing. So, Rasikananda was born in what is now present-day Orissa, and born as the son of a king. His father was very pious, very good person. I think his name was Krishnananda. Forgive me if I got the name wrong. But from birth, he was so much inclined to bhajan, but he was depressed because he was searching for his spiritual master. Then voice came, your spiritual master, he's coming, his name will be Shamananda. You take shelter of him. So Rasik Murari, he constantly chanting japa of the name of his spiritual master, Shamananda, Shamananda. Then next day he took initiation. Already he was married. His wife's name was Shamadasi. So Rasikananda began serving his Gurudev, and him and his wife both took initiation. And Rasikananda so much preached around Orissa. Narottam so much preached in Bengal. So, and Srinivas preached other places. Also, he preached in Orissa, but mainly Rasik Murari, he preached in Orissa. And in many obstacles he had, especially that time, the caste system was so much strong. So Rasik Murari was fighting against that, the battle against misconception. So also that time Muslims were very strong. So one Muslim was very envious, so he wanted to destroy Rasik. So there was one elephant who was very wicked and had killed many cows, many brahmanas. So this Muslim, he sent this mad elephant to kill Rasik. Many wonderful stories about him. Then the Muslim declared, if this Rasik really can control this elephant, then I'll also take initiation from him. So this elephant was charging in the village where Rasikananda was situated, killing many cows and innocent persons. Then Rasika was completely unafraid. He challenged that elephant and chastised him. Shame on you. You are giving so much distress to others. Behave properly. So Rasika had so much potency. This elephant felt shame. And with tears in his eyes, he surrendered to Rasika, who gave him initiation into the chanting of Harinam and gave him new name Gopal. So Gopal became elephant devotee. And actually Gopal did many, many services. He collected other elephants. They also took initiation. He collected other elephants for the service of the Vaishnavas. In this way, Rasik did wonderful things. So one time, one yogi challenged Rasik Murari to a debate, philosophical debate. So that yogi came riding to the debate, riding on a tiger, Bengal tiger, huge things. So of course, Vaishnav have no interest in tit for tat. But still, sometimes it may appear they fight, but that is only to show the glory to their Ishtadev, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Krishna. So Rasik Murari, he sat on one wall and ordered that wall go. So when the yogi came riding on a tiger, Rasik Murari came riding on a wall. Then of course the yogi became dumbstruck. What is this? I am controlling a conscious entity, a tiger, but this is conscious. So possible. But Rasik Murari has even power over non-unconscious entity, material elements. So he is millions of times more superior to me. In this way, he surrendered to Rasik Murari. So Rasik Murari converted many, many atheists. Many, many thousands of persons he converted to Vaishnavism throughout Orissa. And his samadhi is there at Kirchod Gopinath, the same place where Madhavendra Puri also entered Nityalila. So his samadhi is there. So when Rasik Murari left, then I think 7 of his disciples were so shocked they also left the body like that. So his samadhi is still there. Okay, so today is the appearance of these 2 great Vaishnavas. So soon is Navadvip Dham Parikram. So maybe this year we will be here, then we get some chance to do this Navadvip Dham, this Parikram also. So powerful, this all designed by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Of course, Nityananda himself being the Dhameswara, the spiritual master of the Dham, the presiding god of the Dham, because Nityananda is the presiding deity of the Sandini Shakti, the potency of existence. So he's the original spiritual master. So he led Jiva Goswami on the first Navadvip Parikram. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur, by his spiritual vision, he has recorded that in one book called Navadvip Dham Mahatmya. They describe the glories of each of the 9 islands, what pastimes happened. So this year we might get some chance to do that because we're here in Mayapur for construction anyway. So maybe we'll get a chance. Well, I'm sorry, I won't use Facebook anymore. Quality is very bad. I was thinking Facebook, more people would get a chance to watch. But anyway, the same people just came anyway. So we'll find some days next week to give class. Maybe if people perform morning time is a little easier, because evening time feel quite tired. It's quite difficult for me to stay up this late because all day we're there. So maybe we'll transfer to the morning time. So any questions from the devotees there on Zoom? Any questions?
Gurudev, you were mentioning when earlier on Facebook about the 6-armed form, Shadbhuj. Maybe you could recap that.
The whole story?
No, just a little bit, yeah.
Because sound was cutting out. Maybe we were saying how Jagannatha Das Babaji Maharaja, even though he was Paramahamsa, he too much attached to the deity's service. So while he was at Surya Kund, he had deities of Gornitai, and they were so golden, people thought they were made of gold. So a band of criminals attacked Suryakund to steal the deity away. And of course, the deity is not stone, the deity is Bhagavan himself. So nothing can happen without his sanction. So all these 7 or 8 criminals entered the temple, but all fell unconscious in the temple room. And in the morning when the pujari came for Aarti, then they got their senses and ran away. So Babaji Maharaj thought, oh, this deity is too much attractive, it's causing disturbance. So he donated that deity to one temple in Vrindavan. So there's a deity called Amiya Gauranga. So nearby that is the temple of Babaji Maharaj. So then he began doing his bhajan, but he not felt happy without a deity. No. Who can understand the minds of great persons? So he was thinking, I want to worship the Lord. Then there was a big pile of grass, like hay. So he ordered Bihari, look in that grass, look in there. Okay, so he looked in and he pulled out from the grass an astonishing 6-armed form of Lord Chaitanya. That is called Sadbhuj. Of course, people find it quite amazing. What? God has 4 hands, God has 6 hands. He can have, when he showed. So, when Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was speaking Vedanta Sutra, his commentary in Vedanta Sutra to Lord Chaitanya in Puri, then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu defeated all his arguments and presented his Gaudiya Vedanta, the Gaudiya understanding of Vedanta Sutra. So that time, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya became stunned. Then he had a question. There's one verse from the Bhagavatam. I'd like to hear your explanation. What verse is that? Atmanamascha munayo negranti api urukrami kurvanti ahoitikim bhakti mitam bhutam gano hari. Lord Hari, Lord Krishna has such astounding qualities. He attracts the minds of even the liberated souls towards his service. So Sarvabhauma Mahaprabhu said, I want to hear your explanation. Sarvabhauma gave 9 explanations. Then Mahaprabhu heard this, he laughed. Oh, really? You are like Brihaspati, because actually Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was the incarnation of Brihaspati, the guru of the demigods. I mean, so intelligent. Then Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya asked Mahaprabhu, can you add anything? But in his mind, he was thinking, not possible. No one can add more than that. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spoke 18 explanations without even touching Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya's 9 explanations. And afterwards, he spoke 64 explanations. Then Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya realized, what I'm doing. Such intellect is impossible for a human being. What Gopinath Acharya, what Nityananda, what all are saying is true. He is Lord. This is Krishna himself. It cannot be anyone else. So he surrendered to Lord Chaitanya. The time Chaitanya Mahaprabhu showed him this 6-armed form. Actually, first he showed him his form as Lord Vishnu. Then he showed form as Radha Krishna. Then he showed this 6-armed form. 2 hands holding the flute, that is Krishna Sarup. 2 hands holding bow and arrow, that is Ram Sarup. And 2 hands holding Kamandalu, that is renunciance water pot, and Sannyas Danda. So this is 6-handed form. So that was shown by Mahaprabhu to Sarvabhauma. And that form somehow came again in the service of Jagannatha Das Babaji Maharaja. And with great ecstasy, he served there for a long time. Then also some trouble came, so he donated that. I heard a story of someone, they heard Babaji Maharaj is perfected soul. But perfected means some miracle should be there, like walking on water or doing something like Sai Baba. Ordinary persons believe in these things too much. But what is the real mystic power of the Vaishnava? They can remember Radha Krishna 24 hours. There is no higher mystic power than that. Because there's nothing more difficult. Walking on water is not so hard. But to remember Radha Krishna 24 hours a day, that is hard. For us anyway. So, some doubt they came to test with Babaji Maharaj. Oh, Babaji Maharaj, do you have any mystic powers? Then Babaji Maharaj became angry. And with his stick, he began beating it on the ground. Like this. Then those persons become afraid. We have upset him, so they ran away. Then afterwards, through someone else, they sent a question. We asked Babaji Maharaja, he became angry. Babaji Maharaja said, no, I wasn't angry. Oh, at that time he was in Navadvip. No. Yes, I think that time he was in Navadvip. So he said, no, one goat. One goat had entered the Tulsi patch of Radha Raman, and he was eating all the Tulsi there. So this Tulsi meant for Krishna service. So I was chasing the goat out. That's why I was striking the ground with my stick. And these people, they immediately wrote a telegram. That time was no email, Facebook, or WhatsApp. Makeshwari is thinking, my God, what a life. How did they exist? So they sent a telegram. So that time they said, yes, that time exactly, one goat was there, but he ran away. So this way he became famously known as Siddha Babaji. So many things we spoke. Maybe on Wednesday or something we'll continue on Facebook. Any other questions?
Guru Maharaj, I have one question. You mentioned that Nityananda Prabhu's Dameshwar I heard that Vishnu Priya worshipped Lord Chaitanya's Dameshwar, her Thakurji of Lord Chaitanya was Dameshwar.
Really Balaram's presiding deity of the Dham, but actually all of that is for the enjoyment of Krishna. Dham Surup Nityananda, we hear that often. Dham Surup Dharmeshwar. Because all Baladev's property, who's enjoying it? Baladev? No, that is Mahaprabhu. That is Mahaprabhu. But Nityananda also Dharmeshwar. Okay. Any questions more? Where can we read more about the six-handed form of Krishna? You can read Chaitanya Charitamrita. It's there. Okay, anything else? Okay, we'll probably do some other class on Wednesday. That will be nice. Manjari, any question? Manjari Dasi from New York?
Dhanavad pranams, Maharaji. Thank
question?
you so much for Harikatha. Any question?
A divine couple listening? No.
No, not right now.
Oh, take it. Okay, Haribol, then we'll probably do some class on Wednesday. Wednesday, is morning better for everyone or this time is good? What do you think? This time is a little difficult for me, no? Okay, everyone can just write some private message and we'll see how it goes. Okay.
I will have a question. Is possible can program a Spanish class?
Oh,
someday?
yes. Yes, Wednesday
Okay.
should be Spanish class, right?
Thank you.
Is this time good for Spanish guys?
Yes.
Okay, Wednesday. I'd like to do 1 hour earlier. Is that okay? 7 o'clock, all right?
Thank you so much.
Yes, okay, we'll do 1 hour because it's quite late for me here. Okay, Viva la Mexico, Haribol, thank you everyone.
Dhanavad pranams,
Haribol.
Maharaji.
Haribol, Gurudev, Haribol.